A very good morning, brothers and sisters.
Good morning.
So glad to see so many of you. Some all the way from Taiping, Brother Meng and his family. Nowadays, when you open the newspaper, what do you see? More positive reports or more negative reports? Yes, no prize for that. You got it right. More negative reports. In fact, I always advocate people to read the newspaper or the alternative newspaper to find out what is going on in the world and what is going on with mankind. But don't stop there. Read also the Bible. Because when you read the Bible, you also find out how mankind has deviated from the good old path. And fortunately, also, you can also read how to be restored to the full fellowship with his Creator. Talking about the newspaper, the media, what do we read? Almost every day. You will read of unfaithfulness. Unfaithfulness of spouse. Unfaithfulness of friends. Unfaithfulness of nations. Of people in position and in power. Look at the recent financial crisis. What happened? It's because some people was not faithful in their duties. The banking system, the financial system have been unfaithful. So, that brings us to this dilemma. Someone said that you may be deceived if you trust too much. But you will live in torment if you do not trust enough. Trust also cannot, don't trust also cannot really be in a strait between the two. How? And then there was this one of these US presidents who said, I think I got a solution. Trust, but verify. But isn't it very tiring? Every day, you go and verify. Okay? When you buy the product, okay, you assume it works. All you have to do is just plug and play. Okay? You assume that the authorities has to do all the quality check and whatever. Okay? All you have to do is cash and carry, plug and play. Right? But a lot of unfaithfulness somewhere along the line. Okay. But I have good news for you this morning. Here is faithfulness that you can depend on. This is the message for today. The faithfulness of God is a favorite topic. It's a great theme in the Bible. The faithfulness of God in the Bible is what thread to our garment. You know, a nice piece of garment is made of threads, right? It is the thread that is woven into the garments that give this garment its strength, its value, and its beauty. Just so, the declaration that God is faithful, the faithfulness of God, is woven into every page, into every paragraph of the scriptures that give this Bible the strength, the value, and the beauty. Yes, everything depends on that faithfulness. No order could exist without it. The world long ago will be sunk into oblivion. Were it not for that faithfulness, were it not for that faithfulness, you and I will not be here today. In fact, the very foundation of the universe, the marvelous working of nature, the constant regulation of life, all all depend upon the faithfulness of God. In James chapter 1 verse 17, we have this record that every good gift and every perfect gift is from above and comes down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow of turning. Read again. How is God being described? God is being described as one. There is no variation. God is one where there is no shadow of turning. Realize again the full impact of that statement. Okay? Understand the import of it. Right? Here is the truth. Okay? Upon which man's hopes lie. Our hope lies on this statement that in God there is no variation. In God there is no shadow of turning. What does it mean? It simply means that in God there isn't the slightest variation from that which is perfect. God is perfect. And there is no variation from that. In the manufacturing industry, we have this thing called margin of error. Anything that has been manufactured, whether it's a rubber glove or the word, you can give you a certain margin of error, 0 point something something. Anything that is above that will be a reject. But if that margin of error is acceptable. But in God, there is no variation from that which is perfect. There is no margin of error. Right? And in God, there is no shadow of turning. Yes, there is no shadow of turning from the truth. God's word is truth. And there is no shadow of turning from that truth. Yes. And so, here is something that we can bang on. Something that our hope lies. Because God is perfect. In God there is no variation, no shadow of turning. This morning, I would like to present to you 5 facts for you to consider. Number 1, faithfulness is a part of God's very being. Yes, God will never change. For whatever God is today, He has always been. And what God has always been, He will ever be. Faithfulness is an integral part of God's very nature. In Deuteronomy 2:13, there is this statement that He is the rock. His work is perfect. For all His ways are justice. A God of truth and without injustice. Righteous and upright is He. Yes, He remains faithful. Why? Because in God, there is no variation or shadow of turning. Faithfulness is part of God's character. God simply cannot be out of character with Himself. Whatever faithfulness God has at one time, or in a realm, He will have at all times and in all realms. Solomon put it this way in the book of Ecclesiastes. He says, I know that whatever God does, it shall be forever. Nothing can be added to it, and nothing can be taken from it. God does it, that man should fear before Him. Yes, there is no improvement that could ever be made in anything that God is or does. Whatever God says could not be said better. Whatever God does could not be done better. For God to be so perfectly faithful, He cannot say anything He doesn't mean. Nor could He ever say one thing and mean another. Remember, sometimes we tell our friend, hey, say what you mean and mean what you say. God is that. What a comfort this should be to